How do you become a developer? You have pretty much three ways. You can be born into it, wasn't born into it. Um, you can go to school for it. I don't have that much time. Or you can build the relationships and then go from there and learn on the job.
Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. Hey, you've reached Between Two Doors. This is Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy, and today we are talking to Preston Davis out of Sherman, Texas, up in Grayson County. A lot of great things happening up in North Texas. Preston, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
And for those of y'all watching on video, we got the same color shirts. Just it's all right. It's all good. All right, Preston. Hey, tell me, what got you into real estate?
Okay. So COVID. Prior to this, I was in the restaurant industry for 15 years. I always wanted to own a restaurant. And the reason being is because everybody will always have to eat. So I'll always have a job. Well, COVID happened and that proved to be false. I got laid off for about 4 months because the restaurant that I was at, or furloughed, the restaurant that I was at couldn't make it work whenever we reopened. They had to have a minimum of like the 75% or whatever it was because we opened in 3 stages.
Mm-hmm.
So it went well past the time that a lot of other people were going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time that I had downtime since I was a teenager. And I just started researching like what do I want to do? And I came up with I want to be into development. So then I started going back and, well, how do you become a developer? You have pretty much 3 ways. You can be born into it, wasn't born into it. You can go to school for it. I don't have that much time. Or you can build the relationships and then go from there and learn on the job. And the best way to do that is to be a realtor. So that's really the progression. And now I have just dove straight into all things Association of Realtors and all of the volunteering and yeah. So
Gotcha. So out of the restaurant pen and into the real estate fire, and you are now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think aren't you the president of the Texas?
So I'm the treasurer for the greater Texoma. And so next is secretary, then president-elect. So I've got about 2.5, 3 years, and then I'll be president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say you jumped all in.
Yeah, all the way. And I mean, trial by fire is how I learn. So if I'm busy, then I get complacent.
So you made the transition from, well, you're still self-employed and as a real estate agent, your first transaction, what did that mean to you? Got to closing, handed them the keys. They've signed all the documents. What did that mean to you?
It meant that I could make a living at this. I was working 2 jobs. I was working this and I was back at the other restaurant. And I had given myself a timeline of 9 or a year. And I had my first 2 closings within 3 months. And I just, it felt good that I could possibly make a living at this thing. So I accelerated my timeline.
Fantastic. So
yeah.
4 years on now.
Yeah.
You have your goals and dreams in the real estate world and what you'd like to see that turn into. Has that changed for you?
Slightly, but not really. I still want to do development, but that timeline that's a 20-year plan.
Okay.
Really, what now? I'm trying to figure out what to do in that between time. So, I got exec board, and then after that, I'll have more time on my hands. So I don't know what I'll get into after that.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you find most enjoyable or satisfying to you as a real estate agent? Either on the buyer's side representing the homeowner, or on the sellers, or I got that backwards. Either on the seller's side representing the homeowner, or on the buyer's side representing somebody possibly buying their first home, or their 1,000th home.
So I have 2 niches. First time home buyers, I love, just helping them through that process, and the realization from, well, I can't afford it. And I'm like, well, there are ways. And I was just on Facebook, then saw a comment on one of my things, and I'll get back to that after this. Same thing though. We don't have the down payment. We can't afford it, whatever. Well, there are ways around that. There are programs out there. So to be able to give them the knowledge and see that light bulb go off, that it is feasible. I love that.
The way I look at it, your homeowners, they have their own lives and professional careers and families. That's full time. And
Yep.
You, the real estate agent, myself as a lender, we get to be their representative and subject matter experts in real estate and financing, and they shouldn't be expected to know all those ins and outs, how to maneuver all of that. And certainly that's where you come in and where a lender comes in, and there are definitely down payment assistance programs and grants, minimum down payment requirements and stuff that can be helped, and lender concessions. You never know what the seller's needs are.
Right.
And a home buyer, maybe their primary need is to get out from under that piece of real estate. They might be willing to sell and make concessions and meet those requirements anyway, but good for you.
Yeah. And then my secondary is downsizers. So all the kids are gone, but they're in this 3,000, 2,500 square foot home with 2 people, and it's just way too much space. Well, I can definitely help you get rid of that and buy your next one. And they come into a lot of money in a lot of instances, and just pay cash, and the sell side is easy because they want out. They don't need it anymore. The sentimental side is probably the largest hurdle you have to overcome. But then on the buy side, get into most of the time a brand new home, or something custom built or whatever, secondary owned. But yeah. So
wow.
Just helping them get that freedom.
With those that are downsizing, have you heard? I don't want to put you on the spot, but we can definitely talk about it. I know I said we wouldn't talk about loans or anything. So look into especially up in North Texas in the Grayson County area, look into, and you probably already know this. So the reverse mortgage for purchase. That is
Yeah.
a for the right person, that's a beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
you head, yes.
Yeah.
I looked
I've,
at that.
I've,
Oh my
I've not,
goodness. Yeah. I
I've
mean,
not
this
dealt with it personally, but I've heard that they are out there. Then it's just getting over the stigma of,
yeah.
because there's a lot of bad instances because a lot of these people have had parents pass away that had a reverse mortgage and bad things had happened or whatever. But yeah, I've heard that the regulations on them now
Yeah.
are way better.
Yeah, it's highly regulated. Everybody has to go through training classes, and you can't get it until you've completed and understand that course. And I always tell people, bring your heirs along with you. Everybody
Mhm.
goes through it. And it ends up being exactly what they want or need, or it doesn't happen. And
Right.
there's third party government oversight on that all the way through. Anyway, we don't got to get into all that stuff. Tell me. And so I just know a little bit about up there in the
Yeah.
demographics. And
Okay.
what in your time as a real estate agent, I would ask you, can you tell us either a funny story, crazy story, scary, horrific story in real estate? It's entirely up to you to share. But as you progress in your real estate career, there are things that are memorable.
I'll give you probably the most frustrating. Always get a second opinion and trust your gut as far as I go. And this was a family deal. Uh, so a group of family members were deeded a house upon a grandparent's death. Um, they in turn deeded it to their aunt, which what the expectation was they'll get it back, but they don't want her to have to, deal with anything. They want to help her out. Well, she was married. She passes away. He lives, then he passes away. So, I know a little bit about your ship, and I tell said person, you need to speak with an attorney and figure out if this is truly y'all's free and clear. Well, they go to an attorney. The attorney says, yep, you're good to go. Just an affidavit of heirship from each three of y'all, and it's yours. So, okay, I don't think that's right, but I'm not going to second guess the attorney. I'm not going to tell you that he's wrong. In my gut, though,
I'm seeing red flags. So
we get a contract. It's off market. I know two investors, and one of them picked it up. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from title. Hey, we have an issue. I said, I figured I'd get this call, but the uncle had two family members, and they were closest kin. So they ended up having rights to it as well. And one of them was easily accessible, one of them was not. And it ended up being a 5-month escrow period.
Oh,
and luckily, the investor I knew, she had time. They wanted to get it sold. Everybody wanted it sold and bought. So it worked out, but that was, oh my goodness, 5 months of, well, you need to talk to him, mirror lane between seller, title company, the title company's attorneys, affidavits. Oh, So
Mm.
always make sure you get a second opinion. I don't care if the attorney said it. Make sure the attorney knows what they're doing as far as real estate goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're dealing with
Yeah.
a family law person or a criminal, they don't have any idea other than what they learned 20 years ago in some class that they have long forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We want to get an attorney that knows land or knows real
yep.
estate. Tell
Mhm.
me, what do you love to do? You can tell me about your family if you want to, or what do y'all love to do as a family outside of real estate whenever y'all have stepped away from this for the weekend or
Uh, so I
whenever.
have,
It may not be, it's probably not the weekend, but
yeah, when I'm able,
yeah.
my first love is travel. I grew up traveling. My mother's a travel agent. So there's always somewhere to go. It might even be, 2 hours away, but there's always something to do. But I'm pretty wrapped up most of the time because I have 3 boys and 2 of them are sports junkies. So
Good.
we pretty much are in sports year round. Um, it got so bad, I had to limit them to 2 sports a year. Um, and I didn't hold to it, but they still do, baseball, football, soccer, basketball. So that's, there's always an overlap in between each of
Right.
those seasons too. So we're
Yep.
going 4 practices and yeah. So
Now, yeah, there's a lot of overlap and good luck getting there on time. Golly. Tell me
yes,
this. So between the kids and yourself and all the sports, are y'all all on the same teams as far as who y'all root for, or is there some inter-family rivalry on
there's
Sunday afternoons and Monday nights?
so I'm from Arizona and my wife is from here. And so I like the Cardinals. I like the Suns. Granted, I still root for the Mavericks. I root for the Spurs. I like good games. I don't like blowouts. I want to see a good game. I really
Yeah.
don't care who wins. My
Yeah.
wife is a diehard Cowboys fan,
Yes.
and I like to talk some smack. So,
That's good.
like right now, and her brother's the same way. He's, always has a Cowboy shirt on. Well, I send memes probably once or twice a week that I find. The the last one was it was this lady, and she was like, "I never thought my husband would beat my children, but it happened." And she flips the camera around, and they all have Cowboys stuff on.
Oh no.
They get beat all the time. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's funny. I'll have
that
to
it
tell
was,
you about my Jerry Jones encounter one someday.
yeah.
Hey, so tell me with your client, your customers, your homeowners that are looking to downsize, what's a key piece of advice that you would give them?
Um, expectation, especially now. So the sentimental value, we'll go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no price you can put on it. There's not a price somebody else is going to pay for it. So just come to reality. This does have a lot of memories for you, but John and Sally don't know that your kids grew up on that swing or all of the marks or whatever. Like this is a business transaction.
Yeah.
The numbers have to make sense. And you don't the house is not a fit for you anymore. So do you want the sentimental or do you want the freedom? That is always the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, we used to mark the grandkids at my grandparents' house. We used to mark on the door jamb going into the dining room, everybody's growths. And there were a lot of the grandkids, right? You better believe we took that door frame. We took
Yeah.
it with us. We had it
Yes.
when we sold or when they sold. It was in the contract. And
Yeah.
so everything, as long as it's in the contract. So we took that
Yeah.
with us. Well,
Yeah.
that was
The parties can agree to whatever the parties want to agree on.
yeah.
So, I mean, the it's always fun when you get a broker on a jury. Well, the law is the law. It's supposed to have. You're funny.
Yeah.
So,
So tell me, how is the best way if someone's looking to buy or sell their home, how's the best way that they can find you?
I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. The best way would be to call me though. And you can message me on Facebook and stuff too. But if you call me, leave a message because I get a lot of spam. So my phone number is 903-294-6140.
Perfect. Well, there you have it, folks. If you're in the North Texas area primarily, or around Grayson County, is that kind of your stomping grounds?
Yeah, Grayson County, Grayson, Cook, and Fannin, and I dabble in Collin a little bit. So
Reach out to Preston.
yeah, thank you, sir.